Don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something. You gotta dream. You gotta protect it. You want something, go get it. Period.
What's up, guys? Jay here with the For the Love podcast, episode 17. Today I have a buddy of mine named DJ Bry. What's up, DJ Bry?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Well, tell everybody your real name.
Bryan Poole.
Okay, Bryan Poole, for those that don't know him. So I know DJ Bry, or Bryan Poole, from obviously DJing. If you don't know, I've DJed for a long time of my life. I've DJed downtown New Haven, other areas of Connecticut, and in some other states as well. Music to me was always a big passion for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's life. It totally is life.
Bro. And it's crazy because like I everywhere I go, if I have downtime, if I don't like silence, I do to a certain extent, but music I like more.
Yep.
So I'll be listening to music all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time here. People are always like, hey, I'm sick of hearing this, sick of hearing that. Aren't you always sick of it? And I'm like, no, music is a way of life today.
It is.
So.
And music's gotten me through so many hard times, great times. And I feel people don't really understand how connected emotionally it can be to somebody.
Oh, yeah. Even right now. I mean, I'm not really doing anything at all. So I figured, okay, I see these DJs setting up in their living rooms. Why not me? I said, let's do it. Every morning I wake up and I listen to one song and I tell my Alexa to play it, and it's "We Are the World." And I start my day with that
every day. Get out of here. Really?
Yep,
That's
every
good.
day.
That's a great song, by the way.
So it gets me motivated. Some days I'm not all there, and some days it is.
It's everybody. It's everybody. Part of life.
But that song I always go back to because you could use it in so many different ways.
Yeah, it's a positive thing, and it makes you really feel connected to the world. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people feel disconnected from this world. They don't really know who they are as a person. A lot of things going on in this world, but we'll touch on that stuff. I want to get into you as a person and how you got to this, where you are now. And that's what this show's all about. It's not about, listen, some people are doing crazy, crazy things. Some people are living normal lives, or what we perceive to be normal in society. And everybody's doing different things, but in reality, we're all doing kind of the same. We live in an ironic world. It's so ironic, but like I really think about that, and I'm like, okay, everybody's different, but we're all the same. Mm-hmm. It's fucking weird.
It's so true. True.
So let's get into a little bit about where you grew up, your childhood a little bit maybe, and how you got into your passion, which I'm guessing is music and DJing.
Yeah. So I grew up in Hamden, the south end of Hamden, and both parents still married.
That's rare.
Yeah,
these days.
Very rare. Just like everybody else, people go through so much, and growing up, and I've seen so much that they've gone through, and I've instilled on how they brought me up, and I had a pretty good childhood up until about middle school. Middle school, I always come back to that, and I always say middle school changed my life. I got really bullied, and
really?
One day I was in that so-and-so Abercrombie preppy kind of group, popular group, and one day this kid that I was so-called good friends with, we got into a fight.
Really?
And from there, I'll set it up for you. We got into a fight, and I
fist fight.
Fist fight.
Physical?
Oh no, it was physical.
What brought this on? I mean, you guys were friends.
I think so. We were both pursuing the DJ thing, And
okay.
I think it was only one of us can do it.
So you knew at that time you wanted to do that already?
Oh, yeah. So I was always looked up, and most of you guys might know this person. I know you do. Ari, my cousin.
I do know him very well, yes.
I always looked up to him. Always admired him, and he was the DJ around. And so I always wanted to be a DJ. And then I just loved music.
Yeah.
Growing up in the late 80s, 90s music was the best to me.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we grew up.
I agree.
And I knew then that I just wanted to get into it. And me and this kid, we teamed up, and we just, I don't know what it was. To this day, I don't think I still asked him what made it happen. I'm just assuming that it was going to be one of us, and that's it. You know, because there was not that many DJs back then. And that was it. And he just, I think he got annoyed or something. I don't know. And he just turned away. And I wasn't a fighter. I wasn't, you know, in this school, we had this thing, you know, put up your hands and say, you're not getting 10 days, whatever, and stuff, back up. And, you know, I was this goofy kid just, you know, getting made fun of. And then boom, he just, short little dude too. Short little dude. And he jumped up and sucker punched me.
Oh, shit.
And I went to go after and get after him. And after that, you know, I didn't really get any contact, so it was basically I got made fun of. So I didn't know how to take it. So I took my anger out at home, which was
on who?
My parents.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad. Like I would keep it in because I knew getting in fights, you know, maybe you can get arrested and stuff like that in middle school and stuff, and get suspended. Then I started not going to school. Truancy officers were back. I don't know if they're still around.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not as strict.
Yeah,
not as strict.
God, no, nothing
but
is now.
Where they would come to your house and say, "Listen, what's going on?"
Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah, like then I started doing homeschooling, because I said no, I'm not going back to school.
So what was going on with the bullying? What were they doing?
So people were just. So I actually was in math class one day. This was my last day of middle school. People would just be like, you know, just like you see in movies, looking at you as you're walking down the hall. Other friends that you think are friends being distant from you and making you feel some type of way.
Yeah, it makes you feel alone,
you
especially
know?
as a young kid.
And
like
then
that.
you legit, as you see in movies, you sit at a different table at like lunchtime.
Yeah, that's got to be rough.
It's so rough. And you're sitting there and you're like, wow, like a week ago, I was sitting over there laughing and now I'm over here. Like, I feel dropped. So it's real. And I was in math class and people were talking because there was something else that maybe the fight was going to finish. I heard that it was going to happen again, and people were talking, and the math teacher was like, all right, calm down. I'll never forget this. This is like the turning of the key of my life. And the teacher said to me, all right, guys, calm down. It's not Brian's fault. He got, you know, jumped. I said, excuse me?
The teacher said this.
The teacher said that. He got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
He got in trouble.
Yeah.
So back in the day,
that's outrageous.
It was wooden doors with that glass window with the like wiring, old fashioned.
Yeah.
This is the old hand in middle school, New Hall Street.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and I get up and I'm like, can we swear? I didn't know. All right, I didn't know. I was like, fuck this. I didn't know. So I was like, fuck this. He goes, excuse me, go down to the office. I said, all right, yeah, I'm going down to the office. I can't believe you, this, that, whatever. And I was just so angry.
Yeah.
It was all built up. I slammed the door.
Smash.
The glass shattered everywhere. He goes, get your fucking ass back. I'm like, I ran.
Yeah.
I ran out of the school. I didn't go down to the principal.
Yeah.
I ran. I lived maybe like 4 blocks away from there.
Yeah.
As I'm walking, cop cars are flying by. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, so I start walking faster. I'm scared shitless.
Yeah.
And from there, they came back. One of them came back and was like, Bryan Poole? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, come with us. So I was like, all right. I was scared shitless. I told my parents, and then I was home, and then I started taking my anger out. I was like, I miss my friends. I can't believe they did this to me, this, that, whatever. And so on and so on. I started getting all into fights with my parents, and inside, being a teenager, you don't think about that. Today, I look back at it, I'm like, what the hell, you know?
Of course, yeah.
And there was one time, you know, you get those scared straight from your parents calling the cops saying like, they're going to take you away. They came. And I was like, no, I don't give a shit. So they put me in the back seat of the car.
Yeah.
Scared. They weren't going to take me.
Yeah, yeah.
But from what I thought they were. So I said, you know what? I'm done with this life. A lot of people do this. Some people don't. I know some people that do. But like my room, I used to draw on the walls.
Yeah.
Fuck the world.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't right.
Yeah.
I was very depressed.
Well, it's understandable. I mean, listen, when you're, this is what people don't understand. As I look back at life, I try not to dwell on the past because I think dwelling on the past is definitely not good for you. But I try to understand the past.
Right.
So when I look at the past, I say, people don't really understand how, when you're in that moment, especially as a kid, you probably never dealt with that type of stress in your life before, that type of anger, that type of emotion.
No.
How are you supposed to, as a child or a kid or a teenager, know how to handle that when some adults can't even do that now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's where it fucks with you, and it really kind of can mess up somebody's whole life in reality if you don't kind of figure it out or get to a realization.
Yeah.
So what happens after that?
So I said what I didn't know. I told the cop, I said, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore. I want to kill myself.
Oh, yeah. I already know what's going to happen.
72-hour hold.
Yeah.
So I was scared shitless. So they were like, no, they talked to my parents, actually. What happened was they're like, if we have to come back, they actually let me go back inside, believe it or not. They talked to me, whatever. And then the second time, because they came back again, and they were like, all right, that's it, you're going or whatever, and your dad's coming. So we went down to the hospital. I got like evaluated, and I was scared little boy. Didn't know what was going on. Didn't know what they were going to do. I thought I was just going down to get a checkup.
Yeah.
Well, they said that I had depression and suicidal.
Yeah.
And from there, my dad came with me because I was underage up to this other floor, which was YPH, which was Yale Psychiatric Institute. And I'm thinking, psychiatric? I'm a little kid. I've seen these movies. Like, these people are, like, crazy.
Yeah.
Now, this is the adolescent floor.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, all right, well, I don't know. I'm scared. And then my dad leaves, and I'm like crying. Like, I'm thinking, like, okay, wait, where's he going? Like, what's going on? Like, what? I'm here?
Yeah, because
like,
he can't stay. He can't stay.
He can't stay.
Yeah.
So I'm here. And they're like, well, yeah, you're going to be here until you fix everything out. This could be a week, a month. I'm like,
yeah.
A month? So I'm sitting here. I'm like, what? Scared little boy. So I'm crying in a corner, and I see a couple other people. It was about dinner time now. So at this time. So, like, people were in the area that they had, like a little living area. Some people were just, I guess you could say, normal. What I thought was normal.
Probably wasn't their first time there.
Right. Yeah. And then there was others that were walking the walls.
Yeah.
Looking like this. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, where am I? Scared out of my mind. I was there for a week. That was what I started seeing a psychiatrist or a therapist and a psychiatrist. Was put on Paxil, Depakote, all these pills.
Of course.
I started blowing up. Depakote blew me right up.
Jeez.
I was stress eating.
Of course.
Yep.
And
I started gaining weight. That definitely put more depression on me. Back home now, was doing homeschool. Would turn it away, wouldn't answer the door. My parents are at work, so I have to answer the door.
Right.
And there's times where I would just be like, fuck this, I'm not doing this. I'm over this.
Yeah.
So
I don't blame you. Everybody, I think, has those thoughts at some point.
Yeah, I was so depressed. So I was seeing a therapist, and then from there, it just, it got worse. It got physical. I hit my dad.
Oh, snap.
Which was bad.
Yeah.
So then I stayed in that hospital again.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually became friends with some dude from Chicago that was there.
Okay.
Because there's people all over the world.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then there was another dude from Wallingford. And then we just did. It was meetings throughout the day, play board games. You had some downtime, you know.
Yeah,
you were on a schedule,
Yeah.
you know. But mainly it was like sitting with a meeting and learning coping skills.
Yep.
And there's still two coping skills that I still learned from that, you know. And I remember from that day.
That's good. What's
you know?
that?
So, you know, I mean, it's easy, you know. Two of them. One, take a deep breath.
Of course, yeah.
Step back from what's going on.
Yep.
And just assess the situation. Think about it. As hard as it is, because it's not easy for anybody to just. You could be going 1,000 miles an hour in your head, and you're sitting here and you're trying to tell yourself to calm down.
Yeah.
You have to do it because it could be catastrophic.
Well, what it does is it when you're like that, what happens is this, and I've learned lately over the past several years what happens with the brain and the body when you're in a negative aspect of your life.
Yep.
And you have negative thoughts or negative beliefs, and everything's negative. Obviously, negative is taking over. It takes over your mind, it takes over your body, all those things. And like you just said, you got to slow down, because especially when you're angry, what happens is your mind is almost detached from your body in a way, kind of, and your mind's almost shut off. And most people react through emotion or past emotion, so they're not reacting with their brain; they're reacting based off of feeling.
Yeah.
And that causes the issue.
Yeah.
And so, like you just said, take that step back, breathe, think, and then you can assess. And what was the other one?
The other one was sit back and to take all the anger that you're in and start from your toes all the way up to like any muscle on your head. Yeah. And you hold it for 8 seconds. So like you'll take your toes and you squeeze them because you're distracting your mind to take that power, put it into your toes, hold it for 8 seconds. Then anything else, you use your arch of your foot, do that for another 8 seconds. And as you're doing this, you're working up your body, you're forgetting about what was going on, but you're also like tensing up your muscles, but then giving them a nice relax. So,
I kind of can understand what they're kind of maybe trying to do with that in a way. Like, you're taking your mind off of obviously the thoughts of what's making you angry,
right?
But because what happens is there's that mind-body reaction. Your body's still tense from it, or your body's still angry. So it's almost like they're telling you, we're gonna let your body be mad, but we're gonna take that and let's put that energy into
something
your toes.
positive,
Or
right?
like you said with your toes, like, okay, I'm gonna hold my toes tight for as much 8 seconds or whatever, because that's still tension.
Yep.
So you're still giving your body the tension that it needs when it's angry.
It might sound like it's not making sense, but it really.
If you have to really think about it, do it and break it down and understand it.
100%.
But I'm sure there's a lot of people that will look at that and be like, "Oh, that's stupid."
Yeah. No, but you know what?
You know?
It's helped me. It's helped me.
That's all that matters.
So
now you get out of there. Was that your last time in there?
Yeah, I was in there. I think I was in there for like a month and some weeks, like a month and a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's kind of a long time.
Yeah, it was long. So how
old were you?
I was, like this was 7th, 8th grade, 8th grade.
Damn.
So
you're not that. Yeah, you're like maybe what?
14, 15.
14? Yeah, 15.
Yeah, 15. 15. And then the doctors there talked to my parents about this place in Hamden, New Haven line, right across from Albertus. It was called Cedarhurst. And it was based, so I guess before I even was there, maybe a few years before, they would have the schooling at the hospital. And then they said, okay, for people that are outpatient, let's do this. It's kind of like an ACEs or, stuff like that. And, it was a regular school, but they had clinicians there. They had, it was a longer day than normal middle school to high school, and was in there. And there was maybe 56 students. We would go on field trips. We would do hands-on stuff. We would do math, all the curriculum. Yeah. And then we would have therapy sessions and stuff like that. It was literally the New Haven Register, Mr. Jackson's mansion. That's what.
Oh, wow.
And it was just the rooms were made into
classrooms and stuff like that. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Now, so you stayed there for how long? I mean,
So I was there. I was basically, it's a transition, or you can also graduate from there.
right.
So I wanted to get back to
normal school.
I wanted to graduate from Hampton High School.
Yeah.
So I wasn't yet. So I was there 8th grade, the end of my 8th grade, 9th, and then middle of my 10th grade. And then I transitioned
Okay.
into Hampton High.
How was that? Because now,
Hard.
let me ask you this question. This is my thing. Obviously, it's almost like you're the new kid coming in, but you're really not the new kid because maybe some of these people still. Now, were these kids that bullied you still there?
Yes.
So what happens with that?
So, from then, I was also trying to. Now I'm in middle school, 9th grade, into 10th grade. Nobody really has a job quite yet.
You're not DJing yet?
Oh, I was though.
You were?
I was walking in the back door of Van Dome.
Okay.
And working with this gentleman, Mark and Ari, and doing some things and stuff like that. And I would do parties and stuff like that. And people were like, they knew about me. They were like, wow, all ages were big back then.
Yeah, I remember that.
I would help with promoting.
Yeah.
My morale went from here to like through the roof.
Yeah, because you're doing something that you like.
Yeah. I found music.
Yeah.
Music found me. And promoting and meeting people. I'm a people person.
Yep.
I like to talk to people. I like to network. And that's just who I found out who I was.
That's what life is about.
Right.
I tell people, I'm like, that's why I do this shit a lot too, is to try to make people connect more because human connection is a gift that the world gives us that we don't utilize enough.
Yeah. 100%.
So you're DJing now, you're DJing Van Dome, all these things.
I'm doing these things, and people that I used to make fun of me, and people that knew me that were in the same class were like, "Yo, Bry," like all ages.
Yeah, they want to get you. They want to
get in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's where the fun comes in.
Yeah.
You know, and you get these couple of hot girls that want to, maybe I let them in. It is what it is.
Hey, you're young, living life.
Right. So I'm enjoying it, and some of them I didn't let in. And I'm running the line, and I'm doing what I need to do.
Yeah.
So
tables are turned.
Yeah, tables have turned. Karma comes around.
Okay.
So I come back into Hampton High slowly. I did my mornings at Cedarhurst, and then afternoons I would go to Hampton High.
Yep.
And people would be like, "Yo, where are you coming from or whatever? Where have you been?"
Yeah.
A girl that I used to be really close friends with actually had it in her to come, like, she was weird about it for like a week.
Yeah.
And that like weird stare, like walking through the halls.
Yeah,
and I like wanted to stop and say, "Hey,"
Yeah.
I think she did too. Finally, I had it in me because, like I said, I built
Feeling
the
good
old
now,
me.
yeah. Got some confidence.
The old me wouldn't go in front of a microphone for anything.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
What do you think that? How do you think that changed?
I still ask that question every day. But I just, music definitely. Music had a piece of it.
Yeah.
I still ask that question every day because I remember when I was in 2nd grade and I was nervous as hell. It was 3rd or 4th. I don't know what grade it was, but I was in like some chorus thing in front of a whole church.
Yep.
And I felt so bad. It was Christmas, and we're doing the Christmas thing. Let alone I'm the only Jewish boy that goes to St. Rita's, so I'm going there, and I'm dressed in as a disciple. Is that what or whatever they're called? I don't know. And I'm sitting there, or whatever they're called, and I have this whole robe thing on. I didn't want to be up there, and I just start puking all over everybody.
No.
Oh, it was so bad.
No.
I was so nervous because all these hundreds of people at St. Rita's were looking at me,
Yeah.
and they pulled me off to the side. And I always think back to that, and I'm like, I look at people. They're like, "Oh no, I can't talk. You got to talk when I do a microphone or something like that." And
that's what people tell you that
they're like, "Yeah, we hired you for this or whatever." And I'm like, oh, "All right." They're like, "I'm not a microphone person." I see their faces turn red and stuff like that, and I'm like, "Wow, that's how I used to be." And I picked up a microphone one day, and I said, "Wow, people are taking up on it." Like maybe it was the highlight.
Gives a shit in reality. That's the thing. Like, you think people are in the club like saying, worrying about what you're saying? They're not. You know what I mean? They're drinking. They're doing their thing. But people are just self-conscious.
Yeah, I was sitting there. I was like, wow, I'm the center of attention now.
Yeah.
Like before, I was sitting there, people are making fun of me in a bad way. Now people are like, "Oh, wow, he's on the mic. Wow, he can get us into the door at this party and this." So now, like, so I go up and I walk up to her and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And she goes, "Hey, how are you?" And the most awkward conversation ever.
Yeah.
And we get to talking or whatever, and she's like, "Hey, I got to go to my class, but can we talk later?" And I was like, "Yeah, definitely." Like, so we ended up meeting up and talking or whatever at like a study hall or some shit like that, and we became friends again. And she was like, "Listen, I gave people second chance. I always believe in second chances.
I do as well.
You have to.
I've gotten some, and
that's
same
here.
That's why I believe in it so much.
Same here. Like, I believe in it more today because I've messed up.
Yeah,
I've messed up.
And,
so
and that's part of life,
right?
You gotta learn from them.
Yeah. So that happened. We became friends. I talked to another friend that used to be friends with me. I was actually talking to him, that other friend, in between this whole thing. He stuck by me. And then we kind of broke apart after high school like everybody else does. I graduated. I became friends with other people.
Yeah.
Some people I forgave. Never saw that other kid that punched me.
No,
but then
really?
down the road, I did.
Oh.
And, he came up to me and he goes, "Hey, can we put that behind?" I said, "Yeah, man.
Oh, that's good.
That's,
yeah.
it is what it is."
I believe in that.
Yeah.
I believe in that. If somebody comes to you with positive intentions, you have to accept that.
100%.
I can't stand when people don't do that.
Right.
It's just, I mean,
because that means if you sit there and say like, "Oh, nah, man, just leave it alone," like that just means that you didn't change. They grew up.
Yes, and the thing is you don't have to be best friends with that person, but you can squash it, and that's it. You go your separate ways and know that there's no animosity there. It's over. That's the respectable thing to do.
Yep. And my biggest thing was I never wanted any enemies. Like I said, I was a scared boy. I never wanted to fight. I wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Like you put today, or like maybe a couple of years ago, I would, in a situation like that, I probably would have fought like crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody always says, "Oh, imagine if you went back to high school today with the knowledge you know today."
Yeah.
It's like, But
so no more bullying really happened after that.
No more bullying.
Okay. So now you kind of got out of that whole mindset, and you graduate high school, and your confidence is still pretty high then?
So I wanted to be on the radio.
Yeah.
So I got a full ride, and my passion was to be on the radio. So this guy, I met the head guy of Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Yep.
And he was at the meeting, and it just so happened that he was in Stratford. I didn't drive yet. I actually didn't get my license until I was 18. I failed. I was one of those
I failed
guys.
my first one too.
Oh, I failed 4. So it was bad.
Damn.
So book smarts wasn't my thing, as you could tell from the
I'm the same
school.
way, kind of. I mean, I'm with schooling. I'm not a big believer in school.
Yeah.
Certain aspects of it I do believe is beneficial, but especially now I don't believe in it.
Same here.
And for me, it was like this. Like, I was very good at what I liked, and I was very. It's not that I wasn't bad.
Right.
Yeah, it's not that I was bad at the other things, but I couldn't put the effort into it because I didn't care.
Yep.
And
I actually, you saying that, like I actually did the things that I liked. Cooking class.
Yeah.
I'm a big dude. I loved cooking class. I always fooled around. I was a class clown in that class the last year because I was a senior. I always had fun. And then math because it was numbers and money and business and stuff like that. I think I had a business class too.
Yeah.
But like other than that, forget it.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
So now, is that where you went? Connecticut School of Broadcasting? Did you go there?
Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Okay. And my parents believed in me, and they were like, "This is what we're gonna do." They're giving you the whole $10,000 ride. There was one person out of the meeting that would get that ride.
Oh, gotcha.
And I was this little boy, and they were like, "Wow, this kid loves the DJ. He loves music." Yeah. They gave us a chance to go in. Boom! I went in a little studio. I had it down pat. Other people, they were older, they were younger. I was out of high school. There was people that were out of college. There was an older gentleman that was retired that wanted to get into like sports.
Good. It was good because they're probably looking at you saying, "This kid at his age knows he wants this."
Oh, and I did.
Let's give him this opportunity.
I did it, but there's always a but.
Of course.
I did what I had to do. Did it with flying colors, and then from there, I loved it. I was being trained by Kiss 95.7 news channel because when you're in it, you do radio and TV. You have to learn both.
Oh yeah.
So And
they set you up with these places?
Set you up with all these. They set you up with them. But it was, and I understand the whole started from the bottom and everybody's got to be somewhere. I get that. But I'm at high school. I need a job. So I was doing day classes. So I couldn't have a job, really.
Right.
So, and I was looking forward to this. I wanted to be the Howard Stern or whatever, the Ryan Seacrest today.
Yeah.
But that ain't gonna happen. So what happened was I'm sitting there. I get in. My first thing was doing Rockettes. Remember the Rockettes baseball?
Yes.
I worked for 1300, which was an AM, not FM, AM.
Yeah.
So I'm doing AM station, and I'm doing this, potting up the volumes for the guys that are doing the announcing. That's all I did. And it was unpaid.
Oh.
It was an unpaid internship for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then
That's
you
tough.
gradually go. So then I worked for KC 101.
Okay.
Nights. And I messed up. I fell asleep.
So, but what did you do? What was your job?
Same thing. Same thing. So, and
you fell asleep?
Yeah. There was dead air. The worst thing is dead air.
Yeah.
So then I was doing some intern stuff with this guy, Mike McGowan from Kiss 95.7. And I'll never forget that day, my first day. That's when, what do you call it? What's her name? What the hell's her name? Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Aaliyah died. So, he was talking about that or whatever. I don't think it was that day. I think it was like an anniversary or something like that.
Yep.
And he was like a huge Aaliyah fan and talking about it. And he's like, oh, today we're going to talk about this and stuff like that. Because I was on the air or whatever. So,
you were?
Yeah. So, no, he was on the air. So I was sitting there kind of like this. So if it's your show, I'm here just.
But you were
okay.
Oh, but you were on. You were on.
I was on.
Yeah.
And people knew I would go do on-site things like at the club. There was a place called Kiss Club.
I kind of remember that. Where was that?
Club 2001.
Berlin Turnpike.
Yep. I wasn't involved like other DJs that I know DJed and stuff like that. But I would go a couple times. I mean, I was still young too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I did that. But I wasn't seeing any money. So I said, that's it. So like I'm still DJing. I'm still doing that. And DJing started picking up. I started getting a name for myself. I would do a lot of like benefits here. And do this, that, all that, whatever. And I started getting clients every year. Okay. And just going with that. Radio never hit off for me. Yeah. Yes, you got to stick with it, and build your. I bet you if I stuck with it, I'd probably be somewhere out there. But like, I'd have to give up. And sometimes you have to give up everything.
But it's a hard sacrifice.
It's hard sacrifice. I was young. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody always asks that question, when you're younger, what do you want to be? I always wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
I went to Branford Hall, and I did paralegal work.
Yep.
So I graduated from there, never pursued it. I have it, but it's just.
So what did you end up doing? I mean, you started building clients?
I started building clients. Then I was starting to get I was in my prime with this.
Yeah.
I saw what my cousin was doing. And he still calls me today to say, hey, no one understands me when I do this. I was like, no one understands you, period.
It's very, very
but,
true.
As a joke. But
very
no, I
true.
love him. And he taught me how to do certain things. So like, you'll see him at bars and do this, that, whatever. But he made a huge name with this other company and did all these Sweet 16s, bar mitzvahs, and was the guy that got on the microphone. I was like, I want to do that. Yeah. And I went. And that was my calling. Mm-hmm. And I learned from him. Some people say I sound just like him on the microphone. And I just go like...
I think you do. I kind of remember when I would hear you. Yeah, you do very much so.
When I go into that, like, everything is just gone. I'm focused on this. I feel good. I get those, like, tingly feelings in my body.
I know it.
And, like, this is going to sound... Some might say, oh, this is creepy or whatever. But no, it's like when I'm doing like a Sweet 16 or like a kids party and the kids are singing, like you're at your own concert. Yeah. I post about it all the time.
I get what you mean.
And I'm sitting there doing sing, call and response things. I look back, I'm like, wait, they're doing that with me.
Yeah.
Like that feels so good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. I leave there and people are like, hey, I don't know who these people are. They're picking up their kid and they saw like the last 15 minutes. If they saw the whole thing, they probably would have been like, oh my God. But they did. They were like, you're amazing. Like, wow. Hearing just that.
Yeah.
Like, when you go to work and you hear that, at the end of your shift,
Positive reinforcement.
it is the best feeling in the world.
Yep.
So I can honestly say that I love my job.
That's
I
great.
can have a really, really bad day, and which, in between all this is going on. I'm learning how to DJ. I'm doing this. I'm doing gigs, helping out here. I'm also donating my time because, people donated for me and put themselves out there for me to learn. And then also, it also feels good. It feels good.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I tell people that all the time. I'm like, listen, I've built everything myself. For those who know me, and I'm not whatever anybody else does is on them. But I was a big believer in I needed to do things myself. Yeah. I don't take anything from anybody. I build everything myself. I learn everything myself, so on and so forth. But I'll always pay it forward. Yeah. And if you're somebody out there that wants to know how to do something or has a question or anything, I tell people all the time, just hit me up. I will talk to anybody. Yeah. And that's just what it is. You got to pay that shit forward to people. Yeah. It's a feel good. It's a feel good thing. The best and feeling you get good karma in that. And karma is real, people.
Oh man, I've seen so much bounce back from it, and I don't look for that bounce back. Yeah, but you can't. It feels good knowing that
you'll get. The thing is this: when you start to do things in life with genuine intentions, and you're humble and you're grateful for what you have in your life, karma becomes real, and the world will start to reward you. It's when you go out there and you're looking for all the you're looking for all the negative things. Like people go out there looking for, I need money, I need this material thing, I need that material thing. Mm-hmm. That the world never really brings them happiness.
Well, that's where my next generation comes.
Yeah.
So now I'm feeling all this hype. And that's where that saying comes from. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I always write, believe the hype.
Yes.
So believe the hype. So the hype is obviously what I'm bringing out there, what I'm giving you. Mm-hmm. So I'm feeling it all. And I'm like, wow, I can go, like, forget the radio now. Like the radio just kind of shoved me off to the side and said, hey, we got another guy to just help out or whatever. I went from here to like right up. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm doing parties. People are calling me from another party. I'm like, I got to get new equipment. I got to do this. I don't know what's going on. So I'm doing parties weekly.
That's great.
Then these two guys come along. Well, I'm working with Ari also, doing this, the clubs and stuff. These two guys, Nick and Nick.
Yeah, I remember them.
Remember those guys?
Of course, yeah. Listen, I worked with Ari. Ari actually gave me my first couple gigs.
Yeah, he gave a lot of people
a lot of things. And listen, Ari, I know if you're out there and you listen to this, you're still my boy regardless, okay? Because, listen, he pisses everybody off. Let's be real, okay? He's a good dude, but his personality, he's all over the place. He will piss you off, and then you'll love him. That's just how it is. But you gotta know the dude. You gotta know.
You gotta exactly.
You know what I mean?
You gotta know him. You gotta know like that when he puts something into something, he goes 100%. He doesn't want 90%. Yeah. He doesn't want, so.
Yeah, I remember hanging out at his house over there in Hamden and shit.
Which one?
It was kind of off of exit 10 over there. Okay. That connector. He had the house back there.
Yeah.
Danny Diggs was living with him.
Oh, jeez.
Danny Diggs blew up.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Matt Tercey, DJ Skills. He's doing radio things right now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Those two dudes kind of blew up, and I was surprised with Diggs too. Like, not that he didn't have the talent, but
he kept to himself after, and he just did what he needed to do.
I remember he used to just sit in his basement and just fuck with music.
Yeah, I think he introduced mashups.
Yeah,
he just took mashups and just went with it.
Yeah, he did,
and he did it. I mean.
So you're doing those clubs with Ari and stuff like that? So I'm doing the clubs,
and then, I'm doing Nick and Nick. And,
Nick and Nick.
The Nick and Nick show.
They're throwing the parties down there. And that was when, I think that was when downtown was huge.
That was when...
Downtown New Haven was huge.
That's when St. Patrick's Day, you could drink on the street. It wasn't legal, but you could still do it and get away with it. Yeah. The club lets out around 2. And the street is shut down, and there's like a 15, 20-minute party outside.
Yeah, I remember, dude. I remember when I first got on the job, and even before then, dude, when I was young and I couldn't even get into the clubs yet, I would go down there with my buddies just to see the shit show and walk the streets.
Just because it was exciting.
Yeah.
It was the Jerry Springer of the night.
It really was, and it literally, the streets would be packed. And if you talk to anybody from those days, even prior to us, downtown New Haven was wild.
Yeah.
It's not like it is now. It's not even close. These people that go out there, like these kids that go party now, they have no idea.
I was making some serious money.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
That's all I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have my gigs here and there, but I would wake up in the morning, me and this other kid, Nick, who I'm actually working with now.
Yep.
Nick Luca. Remember Nick Luca?
I know the name.
He was the promoter, so we were both
yeah.
like the head promoters.
Mm-hmm.
And we would get all these little kids from college and whatever and promote with them and whatever. Yep. Some of them were cool. Some of them, they've come, they've gone. And my schedule was wake up. I'm going to tell you the truth. Wake up, trespass at Southern and promote there. Mm-hmm. Go to Con Hall, have lunch. Then leave, trespass at UNH. So I'm breaking the law left and right, and promote and whatever. But that's how we got out there. And that's how these parties were successful. I remember that, Then I would go and have my dinner over at QU. And I would walk around or whatever. And I would hustle. If I had that, I still can. So I'm going to finish at the end of this. I'm going to tell you what I know and what I need to be doing and what I'm going to be doing. Okay. So remind me about that.
All right.
So, but if I had that right now, that thing of that go, I would be amazed. But I'm gonna. So I'm at Quinnipiac, and then at night I was the DJ. It was either me, you would do some things. Also,
I remember there
Chris,
was
Fusion.
Yes, and what's the other?
KY.
No, Dave.
Oh, Zarnowski.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Echo. Yeah. So
Echo.
So we're doing all this, and we had every night. It wasn't just Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday. Yeah. This was we had Mondays. We had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We had different nights.
Yeah,
and people would go out on a Tuesday night. UNH. We had a whole company going on.
Yep.
We would have meetings.
Yep.
Like it was real.
I remember. What was the names of these nightlife places?
All right, so it all started with Ari Pro Jam. Then we had, I'm probably going to forget some, but I know this knowledge, some of it. So Pro Jam, 22 promotions, 22 nightlife.
22 nightlife, yep.
There was just Nightlife, which was, I think, was Chaz and all those other guys. or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you had Skyline.
Yep.
You had 5 Star,
Yep.
which was Nick and Nick. Skyline was Joey AX.
Yeah.
Remember Joey AX?
Yes,
and then... there was a whole bunch there.
Yeah,
then you had Red Carpet Entertainment, all these different things. Yeah.
And then you had all the clubs downtown like Oracle.
Oh, they all flipped. Oracle,
Sci-Fi,
Function,
obviously Gotham,
Image, Hula Hanks.
Yep.
The kids today they don't know.
They have no idea.
They go out, they pregame, they drink.
And there's no real club vibe downtown
Not
anymore.
at all. Not like it used to be.
No.
I mean, we would do some crazy shit.
No club vibe anymore.
Not at
down
all.
there.
Not at all.
And they're going to bar and they have no idea. That's not really.
That's not it.
No.
Not at all.
No.
We put our energy into it. We would come up with theme parties and put energy into them and do these parties.
Yeah, I remember. So now you go. You're doing all this. You're riding pretty high. Money's coming in. You're hustling hard.
Yep.
Where does it go
dating
from there?
Girls here and there, doing this because I'm the DJ. I'm getting people in. I'm dating these college girls, little flings here, little flings there. And then I messed up. I dated this girl from Southern, who I thought was, it was for a year. A year's a long time. I don't know what anybody said. Yeah, I mean,
that's probably. I mean, at that time, that was probably what was that your longest relationship?
No, I had a 3-year in high school.
Okay,
so yeah,
but a year is good. Yeah, a year means you're pretty much into that shit.
Yeah, so I'm with her, and this is where I kind of catch like my first case. So everybody doesn't know, but I have a background.
Shit happens,
but you learn from it. Yeah. That's the biggest part is that it's the major key.
Yes. Yes.
So, I got a harassment charge.
Okay.
She said that I had a gun. I never owned a gun in my entire life.
Yeah.
She said I pulled a gun out on her. I would never do that.
Yeah.
There was no gun found, no nothing. She just broke up with me out of nowhere. Now I'm a person. I'm a lonely kind of guy, I like to be with somebody, I'm like one of those guys,
Yeah.
And I'll treat women with the most respect. I'm old school. My dad always taught, look, my dad's still married. They're still married.
Absolutely.
So I learned from that,
Yep.
hold the doors, get the flowers on the first date, stuff like that. corny stuff. And
It matters,
you know,
though. It matters.
in those relationships, girls would turn me away because they'd be like, "You're weird."
They're not used to this.
They're not used
stuff.
to that. Those are the
Yeah.
exact words. I'm not used to it. You're not. I'm used to like the asshole. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm not gonna beat you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, like,
And
you know what I mean?
it's just odd because that's how
Yeah.
they get structured into
Yeah.
only, like that's what they feed off of now.
Right.
That's all they know how to deal with. And
Right. And I'm sitting here. I'm like, what? So I'm here with this girl, and she breaks up with me.
I mean,
over the phone.
after
breaks
a
up.
year, that's
So
yeah.
After like, so we're you know, we had Christmas together. Her family, my family, and she calls me up and goes, "Hey, can you meet me off of Route 34 in Derby?" Because she lived in Newtown.
Yeah.
So I go, and she goes, "Here's the necklace you got me a couple weeks ago, or whatever, and you can keep the watch I got." I'm like, "No, what are you doing?" She's like, "I'm breaking up with you," and I'm like, "Okay, why?" She goes, "Just get out of my car," and I'm like, "So that's it? You dragged me out of work. I left work early."
Was there things leading up to this that would give you any reason?
No clue. No, nothing.
Very odd.
Yeah, like she just wanted to. That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, this is weird. Like, I'm like, can you give me like, I'll get out of the car, but I'll talk to you from my car. No. So she leaves, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So I'm like, I'm not ending it this way. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just like, I'll call her back. I kept going. She goes, "Don't call me, or I'll call the cops or whatever." So I'm like, all right.
When they throw that out there, you better. Yeah.
So I'm watching her drive off. I'm sitting on my car like this. I'm just like, fuck. She pulls over to another parking lot, and I'm like, oh, she's got to be a mess. Let me go give her a hug. Oh. No, worst idea ever.
Yeah.
But kind of glad I did.
Okay.
Because I go over there, and she had this SUV. She had her parents' car. She had this big old SUV. It was like the 3-row, tinted windows or whatever. The whole fucking time that she's sitting there with me, talking to me, saying...
There's another dude in the car.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Her mom.
No.
Her mom was in the back seat. So I pull up, and I see... And she goes, "Oh, shit." And I go, "Yeah, oh, shit. What?" She goes, "Put up the window." She goes, "Bryan, leave." And I'm like, What is this?" I'm like, "You were in the car the whole time." She goes, "Bryan, she was scared. Da, da, da." What do you mean scared? I was just at your house the other. "Bryan, don't contact her." I'm like, "What? Can you just give me the benefit of the doubt of telling me what I did?"
Yeah.
So then,
You need some closure. It's
Right.
respectful.
next thing I know, you're served restraining order on everybody in her family, her dog. I'm like, what the fuck? Now, she's a college girl. My birthday's coming up 2 weeks later. I took off from nightlife. I'm working in Black Bear, doing all this shit. I'm out with my buddies. I go out. Who's out? She's underage. She's using her sister's thing or whatever. So I'm pissed off at her now.
Yeah.
So she knows it's my birthday. She knows where I go because she would hang out.
Yeah, why go there?
Why go there? Never understood that shit. So, and I knew like guys like you, the doors and stuff like that, whatever. And I would go in and I'd be like, "Listen, it's my birthday. I was with my boys. We all end up getting trashed. So trashed that we go our own ways. We went our own ways. We didn't know where anybody was. It was my birthday. My birthday
good,
goes
though.
for like a week.
That's
So we were getting like VIP
Yeah.
treatment at these bars, these clubs. Now, I thought that she was down there. I saw a girl. So I'm like, fuck, I'm hammered. I go up. It was one of those moments. It wasn't even her.
Oh.
She wasn't even there.
Yeah.
She wasn't even
she
there.
wasn't.
No, but after this whole fact, she was trying to get in and stuff like that. After the restraining order, trying to get into things.
Which is like, why?
Right. Like, you put a restraining order against me, so why?
So
I
now,
respect it. So
that's
now,
not where you get locked up, though.
Nope. So this is where it happened. So that night, it's my birthday. I was planning on leaving my car, and I gave my key to my friend, but my friend, who was supposed to be the designated driver, gave me my keys back.
Okay.
So I remember where my car is. So I get in my car. Worst thing to ever do.
Yeah.
And I'm loaded. Not only am I putting other people at risk, I put myself at risk. I'm blessed to be where I am. I start driving, and I go on the highway, and I'm driving extremely slow. I'm not even driving fast. I think I knew what I was, and I pull off to the side, and I think I hit something. It was one of those reflector things. I ended up past the casino. On the phone.
Coming from where?
Because I was just talking from New Haven. So, like, I was
Did
on
you even know where you were going?
395.
Where were you going?
I have no clue. No clue. No clue.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about the casino, really. I knew about it, but I didn't know how to get there, really.
Yeah.
It was used to use like the map.
So you were that smashed.
I was smashed.
Yeah.
And then I hit this reflector thing, and I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to somebody. Who am I talking to? I'm talking to her.
Oh.
So that's my first case.
On the phone.
On the phone with her. She's trying to calm me down. Where are you? This, that, whatever. But she is sitting there with her mom recording the whole entire thing.
Oh.
I broke a restraining order.
Yep.
That's a felony.
Yeah, that's a case.
I used my first thing, my AOR, or whatever it is.
AR,
and
yeah. So
she starts now she's been with me for a whole year, plastering to all my friends.
Yep.
He's such a scumbag. Look at what he did. He would call me this, that, whatever.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I was here. Now I'm back down here again.
Yeah. Oh.
I tell the ambulance people that came where I was, because I ended up hanging up because I realized who she was on the phone. And I'm like, fuck. So I call my brother. It was the first number I saw. And he goes, where are you? And I go, I see this exit. He was on like tow trucks and all that stuff. He ended up calling. I ended up in a hospital. The alcohol level was through the roof.
Jeez.
They put me upstairs. I guess I must have said that I wanted to kill myself.
Yeah.
So I was depressed.
So now you're back at this.
So now I'm in Bacchus Hospital. No idea where the fuck I was.
Yeah.
I guess it was out in Norwich or something.
Yeah.
So I'm out there. Stay there for a week because my therapist wasn't picking up and everything. They wanted to talk to my therapist. I was like, listen, I was drunk, this, that, whatever. I know. I've been here before. They're like, oh, so then you know the situation. Then you need to stay until we... I'm like, you guys are keeping me under my will. And then I was getting angry with them. So they're like, see, you're not okay. So I'm like, all right, I need to calm myself down. This is crazy. So I told them that I got rid of my therapist because my therapist was like, Bryan, maybe you need this or whatever. And I was like, no, get away from me. Yeah. So I was angry. Yeah. I wanted to get the hell out of there. I wanted to start my life back over. I had a drunk evening. It was my birthday.
Yeah, kind of understandable.
I finally get out a week later, and I call my buddy. I'm like, dude, why did you give me my keys? I'm like, dude, I'm lucky to be alive. And he goes, dude, where have you been? Like, your phone, like, you're calling me now? And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, my phone's been off. Yeah, I was in a freaking hospital. He had to come get me, stuff like that. We had to go pick up my car, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm there, and I come home, do all that. My parents were pissed. Then from there, what else?
Did that involve the gun?
No gun.
So
there was no gun.
But how did that come up?
So she said that it looked like I had a gun, that when I was coming over the second time to talk to her, I kept going like this, and her mother said that I had a gun.
Oh, during the that's why the restraining order got put on you?
Right. And plus,
but they never charged you with anything.
And because I called. No, they brought it down to a misdemeanor and harassment the second degree. So it was a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
So I was on probation for a year.
Yeah.
I had to go do probation officer, all that shit.
Did you have to take classes and shit like that?
Yep. I had to take domestic violence classes. That was a pain in the ass.
All for a college girl that probably, when you look back, doesn't mean shit.
Exactly.
Now, obviously, you got through all that shit. Now, you have a kid, right?
So, yep, that was the next thing.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So, I'm DJing at Center Street Lounge, Cinco de Mayo of 2009. And normally I don't remember this stuff, but I can't believe it. And I meet this girl who's mutual friends with my other friend. She comes in. She's like, oh, Bry, you're DJing, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I have a friend. Can you get us in? I'm like, yeah, it's dead as a doornail over here. I'm like, come through.
Yeah.
So they come in. I buy them some drinks, whatever. And I'm like, okay, I don't have a girlfriend. Who's your friend?
Yeah.
That's just who I was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Listen, you're living that.
I'm living that single bachelor life.
Yeah.
And who would have thought that would change my life even more? And I was looking for someone to maybe straighten me out and settle down. Okay. Whatever, you know. She looked like a decent girl.
Yeah.
So she carried it well. And we're sitting there, and we text back and forth after she left. She only came just for a few minutes just to kind of like say hello with her friend. I said, hey, who's your friend? And then she goes, oh, she's single too. So we end up going out on a date. And then I said, hey, you want to walk on this is who I would be. I'm like, hey, we went to, some place, had dinner. I was like, it's nice out. You want to go to the beach? We'll just walk.
Yeah.
Maybe have that kiss, whatever.
Yeah.
So we walk, and she's like, oh, I got a blanket. And I was like, okay. So we lay out the blanket. We're the only ones on the beach. And we're sitting there, and corny shit was just happening. Whatever. We end up kissing. So then from there, we started dating. She introduced me to her family, and I would stay over at her house. One of those kind of situations. One thing led to another. My sister is getting married in June. This is a month now.
Yeah.
Month, okay?
What year was this?
This was 2009.
Okay.
Because my son was born in 2010.
Okay. Let's get to it.
Yes. So my sister was always close with me. I was very upset that she was getting married.
Why?
Because I saw that she was being distant.
Yeah.
Like, we used to be so close.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to lose my sister.
Yeah.
Like, I love my sister with all my heart.
Yeah.
I still, today, we have some family issues where I don't see her because she's in Boston.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I have, like, this thing of, like, I need to learn what life is all about. I'm still trying to figure it out. We all are.
You're absolutely right.
So, so she goes off, and she's like, no one's having significant others unless they're like married at the wedding. So I'm like, it's a day wedding, Water's Edge, so gorgeous.
So you can't
place.
bring anybody.
So I can bring her. My mom's like, Bryan, come over. We want to sit down and talk to you. Your sister wants to talk to you. You can bring your girlfriend if you want.
Oh, okay.
Thanks a lot, Elizabeth. Thanks a lot. Day wedding.
Yeah.
All the immediate family get wristbands, open bar at all the bars through the entire night. So day wedding, it's hot as hell. We're there. We're having a great time,
Yeah.
And plus they were like, your girlfriend's really good with our pop-pop, who, cause she was really good at taking care of older people and stuff like that. So we were just, whatever. And started drinking. She didn't have a DJ. She had some stupid band. I was pissed off about that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
drinks. We're at this hotel. We're staying there. I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Family's there. And then nighttime, they did this fireworks show. It's Water's Edge. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I have, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, beautiful
Cigar
place.
bar.
Yeah. Wow.
Bands, DJs, different rooms. We're annihilated. We go up to the room. 9 months later, I got a
Oh,
kid.
shit.
Worst thing I ever had to tell my parents.
Okay.
So, what's
Well,
crazy?
Why, though?
Because, I was scared shitless.
I mean, how old are you at this point?
I am 25.
Okay, and you're how old now?
I'm 35.
Okay, so this was 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
So your kid's 10 now.
Yep.
So, okay, you're still kind of young, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so and my mom was like the one that would flip, and my dad was the one that was I wasn't worried about.
Yeah. Other way around.
Other way around. My dad's sitting there, you motherfucker, what do you think you're doing? They put the math together. They're like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, so what are you going to do? So my mom's like, just know that we support. I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me check outside. Is there pigs flying right now?
Yeah.
They came around. So now I'm still doing Nick and stuff like that, doing this, making some serious money. Now I'm living in her house, and we're trying to figure out names, doing this, whatever. We're going forward.
Yeah.
And they had this in-law on the side of their other house, like on this big in-law. So it was a den. And so we said, let's make her room the den and that our living space.
Yeah.
So what I did was strip the whole place. I had money coming in like crazy, so I was doing what I needed to do. Painted it, made it the baby room, and then I took 2 armoires, built them. Today, if you asked me to build something, I'd be like, hold on, let me call a friend to do it. Because I don't
Your
do
motivation
that.
wasn't really there now?
There was no motivation. I was like, wow, I'm going to be a dad. This is great.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, I'm going to be a dad.
Yeah.
And it's a boy. Like, the best feeling. I have chills right now.
Yep.
So, this changed my life. Everything. You know what's crazy is just, I don't know if you follow DJ Khaled or anything. Some people do.
Yeah.
You see how he had Assad and it changed his life.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
that is me.
Yeah.
That everything you see that he does, that's me. That's what I did.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, I split the room. This is ours. We have the bed and whatever. So one thing came to another. I'm on this phone a promotional phone. I have 2 phones.
Yeah.
So I had the promotional one, and she's one of those people that goes through the phone.
Oh.
Who the hell is Jenny QU, Jenny or Jessica SES? These are girls that want to get into the club. Oh, they want to get into the club. I'm coming home to you. I'm giving you money to pay for your mom's house here, the rent. I'm paying for the I don't have time. I'm going to work. That, whatever. One night, I'm just it just hit the fan. It just wasn't like working out between the 2 of us. Mm-hmm. We're sitting there and we're arguing, and now the baby's here. We had the baby boy, and she had postpartum.
Yeah,
like bad. Now I'm a new parent. She's a new parent.
That's tough.
This was like the worst. Yeah. And
what does that entail? Do they just not like
so it's like depression, it's all this stuff. So I'm like, all right, listen, you gotta relax. Like, I'm here for you. Like, she's like, oh, I want to take off work for 2 years and you're gonna work, you're gonna be the bread maker. I'm like, what? Like, she's like losing it. Yeah. And I get it. Women, I'm not a woman, but like, you just popped a kid out of your body. I think that's probably the most weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah, we can't really relate to that, or the feeling of it.
So I get it. Women go through things just like, it is what it is.
Right.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, we end up breaking up. And I'm like, we need to figure this out. We need to figure this out or whatever. So we do a custody thing. And
so you guys decide not to be together anymore.
Yeah.
You break up.
Yeah, it just didn't work out.
Yeah. So that was a mutual agreement?
It was rough in the beginning. Yeah. It was really rough in the beginning. Yeah. So we're in court, and I had my own apartment. Now, pause for a second. I'm down at the club, and I see an old friend of mine walking the street that I grew up with. Haven't seen her in a while. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, nothing. Bry? How are you? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I'm not doing well. And I'm like, well, I'm just getting off in about 5 minutes. Come in, have a drink, and, I'll done at Gotham, whatever. So I leave, and I'm like, hey, you want to go get something, a cup of coffee? I'm going to the diner. Yeah, I don't have a car, whatever. I'm like, she's telling me this whole story. Me, I'm a caring guy. So I live in Hamden at Saramonte. Okay, I'm sitting there, and I had this apartment myself, and I have my son on certain days.
Yeah.
So she comes and gives me this whole spiel, and I bought it. This girl. Yeah. She's like...
Different girl.
Yeah. No, she said, well, as a friend, I'm reaching out. Just trying to be like, nice. I'm going through something right now. I just need like a couple days, maybe like a week to just put my son. All right, but next week I have my son here. You're out.
So you're letting her stay.
I'm letting her stay.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
She starts squatting.
So I'm telling, she starts squatting, bringing shit in. She brings her boyfriend in.
Get the fuck out.
Swear to God. So this dude's scary as fuck. I guess he got into like an accident or whatever. He has like his face all burnt or whatever. It was just a weird. I mean, I get it. It is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're sitting there shooting the shit. This is the second day.
They're living in your house now?
Yeah, I took all my son's stuff out and put it in my side because it was two big rooms or whatever, 2 bedrooms. And I'm like, listen.
Not paying you nothing?
Not paying me nothing. Oh. I'm giving, so like I'm giving my heart. You know what I mean? Like I grew up with this girl in middle school, and I'm like, you were walking the street. I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
I go out for a minute. You guys need anything? Blah blah blah. Come back. They're doing drugs on the fucking. Yeah. I never touched really drugs. Yeah. Yeah. I never touched drugs. Yeah. Never. And dude, you're gonna laugh at this. I tell her my story, obviously, or whatever. And she's like, hey, bro, you want to do some dust? And I'm like, dust? The fuck is like dust on the ceiling? Like, I didn't know what the fuck dust was. So I'm thinking, so I tell her this whole story about my whole thing about, because we're exchanging stories of everything. So she knows about my son's mother and all that stuff. She knows who she is, whatever. All her stuff's in there. She goes out. I go, no. I'm like, to be honest with you, I'm going to be real with you. Can you just go outside with that stuff? Like, I don't really want that here. Like, I'm in a custody battle right now. Yeah. She goes out. I lock the door. I call the cops. I'm like, I don't want this. I can't have this. Yeah. I got to get rid of this right now.
No, you're right.
She starts banging. Bry, open the door. What are you doing? Yeah. No. Cops come. Yeah. And they're like, listen, get out.
That's good.
Well, I live here.
Technically, no. If it's only a week, 30 days or
nothing.
More.
She didn't have it. She goes, my stuff is in there. I said, listen, You guys can come in. And she goes, no, I have nowhere to stay. Like this, whatever. I'm like, listen. So she flipped out. The next day, threw a rock through my window.
Yeah.
So now I call the cops. She gets arrested for that. And then all this stuff is there. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, listen. I called her mother, and she's like, don't call here. I can't believe it. Now she has to come back to my house. And I'm like, hey, listen, tell her. So then she ends up coming with a cop, getting all her stuff. She spits on a cop, gets arrested, and whatever. She goes, this isn't over. She made a call to DCF, said I was doing drugs. They knock on my door. I didn't have my son. I was supposed to have my son.
Yeah.
Boom. Now I have a DCF case.
Yeah.
It got thrown out, long story short, because I go into court.
Yep.
I hired a lawyer, or I had my lawyer,
Yeah.
and I had the worst judge in the world. Judge Conway. Didn't like her. The worst. She had it out. And I hate to say this, but it's a women's state. It is what it is, you know? I had short hair at the time.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know what you're talking about, dust. She made me, this is what I had to do. Took my son away from me. So 6 months.
Drug tests? Did you have to do that?
I had to do drug test, hair follicle. I was ordered not to get a haircut because they wanted from my up here.
Yeah.
So
that's outrageous.
Oh, it was real bad. I was crying. She goes, see, you can't even keep your composure. I can tell that she's telling the truth, that you're crazy. This is the judge telling me this.
Yeah.
I wanted to fight it so bad.
The system's a mess.
I had to, in a room about this size, at Southern Connecticut State University, they had this parent supervision thing, double-sided mirror. I had to pay $100 every week to see my son. I had to pay $100.
I know a buddy who's dealing with that, and it's outrageous.
And my son was little.
Yeah.
If this happened now, and he knows about it a little bit, but I said to my dad, and my dad's like, Bry, I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
He's like, you have two options. You could either go with this. It's going to be hard. You could fight it, or you can just give up and then give up all your rights, and then your son will come find you.
Always fight.
I said, no. I said, I can't do it. I sat there.
Yeah.
I was crying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
I said, look at what I've been through already in my life.
Yeah.
I said, I'm fighting. So I went. I had a voicemail from her, and I didn't put two and two together, from the girl that was staying in my house. Bry, I can't believe you did this to me. All fucked up.
Yeah.
So she confessed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to DCF and tell them that you're a bad father and tell them that you did dust.
And you didn't know you had that voicemail?
Didn't know.
Oh.
So I'm going through my voicemails to check, and I'm like, what the fuck? Call my lawyer. I'm like, yo, boom. Get the DCF person in. Boom. Mr. Poole, you're all set.
Yeah.
This is wiped away.
Yeah.
Get to see my son again.
That judge never apologized, though, huh?
Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
But I'm every day now with her in court, every single day, going back and forth.
What about now?
Today, we're not in court. The only thing that we're in there is for child support.
Yeah.
So those times that I missed, I didn't see my son I didn't see him turn over. I didn't see the first haircut. I didn't see him lose his first tooth, or all that stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough.
It's all lost.
Yeah.
Will never happen. But all the things I bought were gifts. So they brought back for child support when he was born. So I backed child support.
Oh.
That was all gifts.
Damn. Yeah.
So I'm sitting here, I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Yeah. I have to pay all that, pay child support from the day he was born. They're like, that's the way it is, Mr. Poole. And I'm like, listen, I came in here. Every guy that's out here, you drag them in here, and you're going to probably have to get all this money for him.
Yeah.
I'm here. I want to be in my son's life. I want to do this.
Yeah.
So I fought for it. Dude, it tore me apart. It still tears me apart today because my son has come up to me now. He's 10 years old, and he's told me that he's hurt.
Oh, yeah?
He doesn't know. He's never seen us together.
Yeah.
That's his one wish.
Damn, I tell you, for a 10-year-old.
And I'm going through that right now, trying to deal with it.
So he came to you as a 10-year-old and told you this without, did you have to pull it out of him?
He's been acting up more.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's on that Fortnite thing, so we took that away because
Yeah.
it's a video game. His friends wanted to do it. I was little. I wanted to do something. Whatever.
Yeah.
My son, we've always taught him proper things like yes, thank you, please, hold doors. Little kid, cutie. Everybody has seen my videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I have him, I do whatever I can for him. It's not about my life anymore. It's about my son's life.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it is.
But in society, we don't see that often. And
Right.
even with you, man, I got to say, listening to your story, you, and I know you are, very grateful for your parents.
So much.
I mean, listening to your story, I sit there and I'm like, bro, they could have gave up on you. They could have, you know, whatever. Like a lot of parents out there I see.
They're still there for me.
Yeah.
If I need something, my parents are always there. And, you know, they resent his mother, which is understandable because she put me through this stuff and she went with it and all that stuff. But
a lot of unnecessary things.
Right. And I try to convince them to say, like, hey, you know, but I can't.
Like put it in the past.
Put it in the past for Braden's
you know what, though? That's a lot of old school in that.
Right. So exactly. They're old school. So, you know. So,
old school people are like that. They have a tough time doing that.
But my parents are always there for me. I'm going to tell you right now. Today, I know what I need to do in my life. There's something in my brain, and like we talked about earlier, is that, you know, it starts with your head. It starts with your head. Everything, absolutely. Your thoughts and everything. But I know what I need to do. I've struggled with my weight. I've struggled with stress. I still do. Everybody does. Depression, anxiety. And I've been on medicine. I recently just came off of depression medicine. Yeah, and that's good. Because I wanted to. Yeah, I wanted to be me. Some people are like, you know, it balances you out, and I get that. It makes you neutral, but I want to be me. I want to be real. Yes. That's who I am. Yes. And I had a scare. Find yourself, man. Yeah, I was in the hospital recently.
You got to fight for the same stuff?
No, this was for, I thought I had a heart attack.
Okay.
It was, I went and got a cardiologist. I have an enlarged ventricle.
Yeah.
And, you know, so.
And that's probably from just being a heavy dude.
Heavy duty.
And stress. And that's funny that you bring that up because I just did a podcast that will be airing on the episode after you with a naturopath doctor. Yeah. And we talk about a lot of stress and how stress affects the body, stress affects disease, and how your thought process really kind of does bring your body back to normal. So what I hope for you is that, and I'm here to help you, man. I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want everybody to know that. That's why I do this. I want people to feel better about themselves. I want people to know who they are as people. And I love hearing people's stories, and I love seeing where they're at now and how they got through it. Because to me, learning about that is very powerful.
That's the number one thing. If, you know, you learn about these things, you know, you learn from your mistakes. Because, you know, I have so many other ones. I mean, we can go on for hours.
We all do. And listen, I got them. I got them. And Bry, the thing is this, like, I tell people all the time, I say it almost on every episode because it's so I believe in this. The world will keep putting you in the same predicaments, maybe not exactly the same, but similar, just as stressful, whatever it is, if you don't take a different route.
Right.
So what I mean by that is, yes, you have to learn. When something happens to this, and even when I say, yeah, I'll give people a second chance, you know, because you deserve it. But here's the deal. I'll tell people all day long, I don't fail twice. I don't fail twice, especially now in my life. Because I've already done it too many times. And the thing is this, I've learned not to do it. I've learned how important second chances are. I've learned how important failure is as well.
Yeah.
I embrace failure. I like failure to a certain extent, where some people are so fearful of it. To me, I look at it and I say, if I fail, I know I'm learning.
Right. Oh, I'll never get arrested again. You know, I know that for a fact because I went and got arrested again for stealing.
Yeah.
Which was bad. I was drunk. Oh, yeah. So drinking has gone out.
Is that something that's out? Yeah, you dwindle that down.
So I mean, I used to drink heavily. I was in the club scene, so I was around it a lot. You know, one thing I didn't pick up was the drugs, which was good. You know,
good.
But
and that's not something like you cut that out. You don't really need it.
Right. I don't.
Were you using it as a coping mechanism? You think?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very much so. Very much so. I mean, I would get blacked out. Damn. That's how, and it's scary. If you sit back and you think about it, it's like, wow. Like that time when I drove, that could have went a totally different route. Yeah. And then today, I lost a really good friend, and that's another reason why I don't drink. I lost my best friend, Pyro.
When?
Ben, DJ Pyro.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You remember DJ Pyro?
Yeah.
So I lost him It's been 4 years now. 3-4 years.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And a drunk driver went up the wrong way. He wasn't even supposed to be at the club. He was covering someone else, and he came back home. He was going on North Haven, and boom, hit his car.
Yeah, I remember that.
But a week before, he had 3 flat tires on his car. Why not 4? But it was weird. 3 flat tires, and his car almost flipped. So like, people are like, "Oh, it's his time," God.
Yeah,
I believe in God. I believe in all that stuff.
Everything happens for a reason, man.
Everything happens for a reason.
And the thing is this, I think what we need to understand is, as much as things are painful in our life, and we want to understand them, some things we just never will.
Right.
We'll never understand why the world does negative things to us, but you still need to take some positivity from it.
I've
somehow.
taken everything that I've done, I've learned, and now I instill it into my son.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dude.
And I
that's
teach
exactly
him
what you need to do.
I try not to show him my weaknesses.
Yeah.
It's hard. We've cried together, me and him.
That's great.
He's 10.
That's great.
But, life is life. And you know what? Talking about it is not a bad thing, because you know what? I think that everybody should have a therapist.
I do too. I'm a big believer in it. I was never a believer in it. I thought, how could somebody that doesn't know me tell me this, that, whatever?
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's very beneficial, and that's another reason why I do this show, because not only this is like therapy. You know what I mean? This is like therapy. I love it. I love getting to know people. I love people opening up, because I feel that everybody really wants to talk to each other. We're just afraid.
Yep. And you shouldn't be afraid.
No, don't be afraid.
You should.
And that's why, at this point in my life, I really try to open up to people and connect with them everywhere I go. If I don't know you or whatever,
network.
I'll talk.
That's the way
what I mean?
life
yeah.
is.
And that's what I want to do. I want people to reach out. Let's go. Come on, Bryan did it. I have had many people do it. So let's get that going. Bry, this was a really good episode. I do want to end with the fact that you do own some businesses.
Yes.
So let's definitely promote that.
I'm obviously DJing. I own my own DJ company. Yep. Obviously, right now it's kind of tough. But after this is all over, when we rise above this, if anybody needs a DJ, I do it all. Like from kids' parties to weddings. Weddings are my prime.
Yeah.
What I do. And then my new company is Bryan Poole's Perfect S'mores Company.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Great
idea.
It's something you just got to experience.
Yeah.
We bring s'mores, everything to the on a table, a wooden table, and it's really cool the way we set it up. And at any event, weddings, bar mitzvahs, kids parties, picnics. Yeah. A lot of people are gonna have parties after this.
Oh God,
I know it.
Yeah, people are gonna. This might boost your business.
I hope
reality
so.
Because
I hope so.
People are craving that human connection,
absolutely,
and doing
100%.
things together. So we'll see what happens. But Bry, listen, man, you're always welcome back on. I always want people to keep coming back in, so we can keep connecting and people.
And I encourage people to open your minds and reach out to you, because honestly, I feel good. It's like,
yeah, man.
I'm a big dude. It's like me going to the gym. I feel good after.
Absolutely, bro. Listen, this is what it's all about. I tell people all the time, come here, sit down, let's talk. It's great. This is one of the best things I do in my life, man. I love doing this shit. So let's open people's minds. Come here, have a good talk, and connect with the family. This is the For the Love family. We want everybody to be connected. So episode 17, that was today. Next week, episode 18 with Dr. Matt Faisal, and he's out of Hamden. He's a naturopath doctor. We talk about a lot of things, especially with health going on now. So definitely check out that. And Bry, listen, what's your social media?
So most of it is at DJ Bry1.
Okay.
So yeah, so
that's
you can
Instagram, Facebook, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So if you guys are interested in talking to Bryan, it doesn't matter what it is. Reach out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My phone, what I tell everybody, my phone's always on. Even if you want to talk, just whatever.
And check his Facebook out. He's been doing the live DJing for people that are stuck home in quarantines, things of that nature.
We got a Saturday. I'm doing a Zoom. Zoom, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing a PJ party.
Okay, so, nice. Yeah, definitely. Man, I'll check that one out. All right, guys. It was a great night. Until
thanks
next
for
week.
having me, Jay.
Anytime, my man. Take care.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. You gotta dream. You gotta protect it. You want something, go get it. Period.